Good afternoon, gentlemen. It's Active Aussie here. It's Wednesday afternoon. It's nearly 5 p.m. I was just listening to the latest video by Ohio Dan, which was very good as usual, and I don't want to parrot too much about what he said in the video, but one point he did raise that sort of struck a chord with me is when he mentioned early on in the video about the USA and its $37 trillion debt. You could say it's their national debt, and a lot of countries are in this high debt situation. And Dan mentioned that when you talk about this to someone and you say, oh, the situation seems hopeless, we're in this massive debt trap, they'll say something like, oh, you're anti-American, you're very negative, you should be more positive. And that's actually happened to me before, and I'll give you one example. Is during that so-called COVID era around 2020, 2021, there was, or there still is, a medical professional who lives near my sister, and he's quite an accomplished guy. And I said to him, oh, the debt is going to balloon to well over $1 trillion. And he just said to me, oh, that's no big deal. We'll pay that off after a few years. And I just feel that shows you the gullibility and naivety of a lot of people. And they don't realise there's a massive interest bill that comes along with that as well. So that was a good point, a good example that Dan raised in his video. And when it comes to state debt, a lot of states are in heavy debt as well, like Victoria here in Australia. And it's very lucky that they did not end up signing up to that Belt and Road initiative. That would have put them in big strife, similar to what happened in Sri Lanka. And debt really has a huge effect, or can have a huge effect on a country. Just look at places like Sri Lanka and Greece. We've all seen what happened there. It was quite disturbing. I just felt like making this video after I watched Dan's video, because people will often make statements and not think carefully about an issue, and they just come up with sort of throwaway type statements. And I'm sure many of you guys have come across this sort of, you could say, phenomenon. I'm going to make another video in regard to, you could say, passport bros, but this is going to be more in regard to the LBHs, the so-called losers back home, as some people call them. And I'm going to ask the question, are these guys really losers, or are they the smart ones? And I don't mean specifically in regard to looking for women. This is just guys who move overseas for a better lifestyle. Although, like I said once before, this situation is starting to unravel a bit, and especially with the very poor exchange rates in some places like Thailand and the Philippines, especially if you are using dollars like even US dollars now, Canadian dollars, Australian dollars, you get a very poor rate of exchange. And I think Dan also mentioned that in his video about the devaluation of currencies in many many countries, especially places where dollars are being used. That's about all I wanted to say, but in the next video I'll just talk about the advantages that some guys may have by moving abroad and improving their life, so to speak. That's about all, gents. Hope you liked the video. I'll talk to you again soon, I hope. Cheers.